Howdy everyone, Big Haircut coming at you with a box office report. Now, it's been about a month since I've done one of these because I just haven't found anything super interesting going on with the box office lately. I mean, Multiverse of Madness made a lot of money. We all knew that was going to happen. I will say the biggest thing that's happened from there is I thought it was interesting that in only its second week, it made more money than the original Doctor Strange. I think what that spells out is more Doctor Strange to come. But anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about today. Really, a lot of what I want to talk about is how successful Top Gun Maverick has been. I don't think there's any way I can undersell how much of a success this film has been. We all know that it has received a positive critic review and a positive audience review. I think right now it's sitting at a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, which is a huge deal for that film. I personally love the movie. I went and saw it twice already and probably will go see it again. Really great time at the cinema. Did I really just say cinema? I sound really pretentious. I'm sorry, guys. But listen to this. Top Gun Maverick is now the highest grossing Memorial Day movie of all time. I think this film was projected between $90 to $110 million, which would automatically have given Tom Cruise his biggest domestic opening of all time. I know that may sound weird to a lot of people, but hear me out. Typically with Tom Cruise movies, or at least his big action blockbusters, they're pretty good. But they don't tend to draw a ton of people to the box office in the first weekend. Now, don't get me wrong, he's had big openings like 60 million, 50 million, not chump change. He definitely generates a lot of money that first weekend, but the key with his movies is they're usually really good, and they have people coming back to the cinema. Oh, God, I said cinema again, dang it. They have people coming back to the movie theater 2-3 times and recommending it to their friends. So his movies end up making a lot of money once it's all said and done. Now, up to this point, I believe his highest grossing domestic opening of all time was War of the Worlds in 2005 with 60-something million dollars. I may be off there, but I'm pretty sure it's 60-something, somewhere in there. But get this, Top Gun Maverick over the weekend made $156 million. And I know what you're saying, oh, but it was a 4-day weekend. Okay, fine. But if we look at the 3-day weekend without Monday, we just cancel out Memorial Day, it made $126 million. Double his previous record. That is absolutely incredible for Tom Cruise. Obviously, we all know he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world. There's nothing new there. But this is huge whenever it comes to actual movie theaters. We've had box office successes since the pandemic started. The thing that comes to mind right now that's not Marvel associated is Uncharted, which I believe is sitting at $400 million worldwide right now. I consider that movie a major success and probably the biggest one other than an actual MCU or DC movie. So Top Gun Maverick making $126 million over a 3-day weekend is absolutely incredible for movie theaters. And if it can continue the trend that his movies have done in the past, that people keep coming back and recommend it to their friends, this isn't the end of it. It's going to keep making a lot of money. And I think there's something to be said that it far exceeded expectations here. What this shows is that people are ready for summer movie season. They will show up to the movie theater if the movie is good and, unfortunately, if it has familiar IP. Now, granted, Top Gun isn't a super familiar IP. I mean, a lot of people know it, but it's not like Doctor Strange. It's not like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's different. It's not a superhero film. What this movie was hinging on was, of course, the brand recognition of Top Gun, but then also the fact that Tom Cruise was starring in it. So just imagine the numbers that Jurassic World is going to do whenever it releases in June, or Thor, Love and Thunder in July. Those movies, I feel like, are going to make a lot of money based off of this. But this is, of course, all contingent on if the movie is actually good. Now, you may ask, does Top Gun make this much money if it has like a 60% Rotten Tomatoes score? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think we get closer to the actual projections, but the fact that it was so well received critically and audience-wise definitely pushed it forward. I would expect this movie not to drop off that much next week. I'm feeling probably somewhere in the 50s because this really does feel like the first movie in a while that everyone can go see with their kids, with their grandparents, with whoever, multiple times. And the general conversation is everyone seems to like this film and is recommending it to their friends. So I don't think Top Gun Maverick is done yet. Something else with this movie too is worldwide in its first weekend, it's made $282 million off of a $170 million budget. Now granted, that 170 number does not factor in marketing. They marketed this movie really hard and they started marketing it before the pandemic. So it probably cost a little bit more than it would have in the first place to market this film. And I'm starting to wonder if this movie is going to get to $1 billion. I don't think it will. I think it'll probably finish out in the $700 million range if I had to guess. But if this movie ends up having legs, do not underestimate it. Everyone underestimated it before its opening weekend. This could very well be a $1 billion movie. That's really the major thing that I wanted to talk about right now. I really wanted to talk about Top Gun Maverick. The other movie that came out this weekend was the Bob's Burgers movie. I myself wasn't interested because I don't watch Bob's Burgers. It doesn't look like it made a ton of money. Over the 3-day weekend, it made a little bit over $12 million. I think that's fine given that it was opening against Top Gun Maverick, quite possibly the movie of the summer at this point. So the Bob's Burgers movie, maybe people keep coming out to watch it if they like the TV show. My personal feeling is if you watch the TV show and you were at all interested in this movie, you've probably already watched it, or maybe you're hesitant and you don't want to spend $12 to go see something that you can get 100-something episodes of on your TV right now. I don't really know. All I know is that it looks like it was underwhelming. I'm not sure where the projections were at with that, but I wouldn't expect it to make a ton more money. Oh yeah, the last thing that I want to talk about, I talked about it in the last box office report, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's still chugging along, man. It made $2.5 million this week. It has $56 million domestically right now. It definitely has turned a profit for the studio. I believe it's the highest grossing movie of all time for that studio. And who would have thought? The small indie movie starring Michelle Yeoh is making plenty of money, and it's still going on in its 10th week. All power to that movie. If you haven't seen it yet and you like crazy stuff, I definitely recommend it. Right now, I would say that that's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. So highly recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once. I love that it's making money. All right, you guys. Well, that's my box office report for this week. Really Top Gun Maverick heavy. That's really all I wanted to talk about for the most part, other than the other two films. But if you like this, let me know. If there was anything here that I missed, please let me know. I love talking about this stuff with other people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.